Chapter 31. Murari Varadaraj sat rigid in a wooden chair. He still wore the gray suit from the Groom Day celebration, but the scent of his cologne was long gone. It was replaced by body sweat and a strong, musty odor. A slight salty residue coated his skin and caused him to itch. His black shoes were scuffed, scraped. Dust coated their surface. He hadn't eaten in days. His captors had been more interested in assessing his personal accounts, obtaining security codes and PIN numbers. Looting the safe in his apartment took precedent over transporting the prince to a secure location, and definitely superseded any thoughts of feeding the young surgeon. It was as though food and his overall health were an afterthought. Until now. He could smell the food. It did not give off an appealing odor, but what did he care? At least he wouldn't starve. "Eat," a man ordered. Murari stared at the plate set before him. It was gruesome. Mold appeared to be growing around the edges of the dish. His eyes widened as he tried to make a distinction between what he saw. Were there several foods on the plate or just one? He couldn't be sure. The dark colors gave him no clue. He didn't know if it was animal, vegetable, or mineral, protein, carbohydrate, or lipid, cooked or raw. He just knew that if he ate it, he would die a gut-wrenching, agonizing kind of death that would result with him being thrown face down into a shallow grave. When his body was discovered, it would have been eaten from the inside out by the fungal concoction growing on his plate, and an autopsy would trace the cause of death back to this meal. Murari made a distasteful face. "I'm not hungry." "Eat it!" "I can't," said Murari. He felt his stomach begin to dry heave as it backed up his statement. He tried not to gag, but the reflex took over. He felt the surge of saliva in his mouth and then the rush of a thin liquid race up his esophagus, past his throat, and out of his mouth. It sprayed the table. It mingled with the food on his plate, and it soiled his already rancid clothes. The man jumped back to avoid the contact. He grunted in disapproval. "You are weak, pathetic. Now you go hungry. The next time I offer you food, you will be eager for it." Murari doubted it as he wiped his mouth with the sleeve of his free arm, the one not bound by knots and coarse rope, which was tied securely to the arm of a chair. "May I have water, please? I could do with that instead." "After you clean up this mess," the man coughed. The air around him became stale, sour. "I can do that," agreed Murari, "if you unfasten me. I've been sitting like this for a long time." Murari wasn't sure how long he'd been in that chair. He assumed days, but he had no way of knowing. His watch, cell phone, and other items had been removed from his person immediately.